Hey everybody, Don Georgievich here, Job Interview Tools. If you have a job interview coming up, you have to be ready for one of the biggest questions, and that is, what's your salary range? Now, I'll tell you, a lot of people don't really know because maybe they've been working so long in a current company that they don't know what their fair market value is, or they don't know what the fair market value is for their position. So, what do you do in a case like that? Because obviously you don't want to go into a job interview and overprice yourself. I mean, let's say, for example, the job is paying $80,000 and you walk in there and say, yeah, I'm looking for 120 to 140,000. Well, they're probably not going to consider you for that because you've just overpriced yourself. But maybe you didn't mean to overprice yourself. So that's one of the biggest problems that job seekers have, is walking that fine line of overpricing themselves, but they don't want to undervalue themselves either. I mean, if the job's paying 80,000 and they were making 50 or 60,000 before in their last job, they don't want to go in and say that either, that their range is 60 to 70,000, because it'll look like they're too inexpensive, and if they look too inexpensive, it'll look like they don't have enough experience. So where is that fine line, and how do you find it? Well, I'll tell you. The easiest thing to do, now I mean, I don't know how to tell you to evaluate your specific position, but what you can do, there's a site, it's called salary.com. I have no affiliation to them, but go out there and do some research on your position in your geographical area and find out what the average going rate is for the type of work that you do. You know, whether you're a nurse, a web developer, a mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, whatever it is. Go out and do some research that is around your city. So like, let's say you live in Cleveland, Ohio, like I do. I would go out to salary.com and I would punch in, certain types of jobs for the Cleveland area and find out what the average rate is, the average salary is for that type of position. You can do the same, and you can do that for any position all over the world. Now, what this will do, this will just give you a benchmark for what you're worth, or not what you're worth, but what your position is worth, what that type of work is worth to people. Then the next thing you have to do is you have to weigh in a whole bunch of other factors. I mean, let's say the going rate is $80,000 for a web programmer. Well, I can pretty much assure you that a web programmer in San Francisco, in Silicon Valley, is going to command a much higher salary than a web programmer in Cleveland, Ohio, and lots of different reasons, cost of living and stuff like that. So what you want to do is find out the rate for your area and then balance that with the level of experience that you have. I mean, let's say the going rate for the type of work that you do is $80,000. And let's say that your current salary is $90,000. So you're $10,000 over the average salary. So that's pretty good. So what do you do when you go in to meet with a hiring manager or a recruiter and they say, what's your salary range? I mean, if you tell them, $90,000 to $120,000, now you're, up to $30,000, $40,000 over what the average rate is. You could be overpricing yourself. You may not. I don't know. There's so many little intricacies to coming up with the right number. So the first thing you want to do is establish a baseline. Use salary.com, establish a baseline, and then create a range that's within $20,000, $10,000 to $20,000 of that baseline. So if the baseline is $80,000, you could easily go in and tell them that your range is between maybe 75 and 95. And that kind of covers you in both directions. You're not too expensive, you're not too cheap. And that's the whole key to it. Balance it out, but you need the benchmark. You got to get that benchmark first. And for people who have been working at a company for a very long time, 10 or 20 years, they're not even sure what the benchmark is anymore. Because what you're making in this company after being here for so long is probably below the industry average. That's just normally the way it works. Companies, they don't always match. They don't always say, well, hey, Don, we see that the current salary rate for your type of work is $10,000 more than what we're paying you. We're just going to give you a little raise. They don't really do that. The only way you can really get a significant raise is to leave the company and go somewhere else and kind of start that clock all over again, but at a higher rate. So that's how you do it. Now, let me tell you this. Be prepared for this question at the first chance that they call you, because what's going to happen is you're going to get a call from a recruiter or a hiring manager, and if they're a sharp recruiter, they're going to ask you right up front. That's going to be, one of their first or second questions. What kind of salary range are you in? Because if you're way too high for them, they don't even want to continue the conversation with you. So let's say, for example, you're looking to make $120,000 a year, and the salary range for their position is only 70 to 80. You're way out. They're not even going to consider you. So they're not even going to waste any more time with you on the phone. So, and this is to your advantage too, because you don't want to work with people who aren't willing to pay what you're looking for. But what I'm telling you to do here is to be ready for the question at the first chance that you meet them. And if they don't ask it in the phone interview, well, they're probably not a sharp recruiter, but the question should come up in the in-person interview. So at some point during that interview, maybe near the end of the interview, after they've invited you in and you've talked to them for a few hours, they might say, okay, well, we're really interested, what's your salary range? And then you can give them a range that's somewhat matches the industry and also takes into account what you've been making before. All right? Makes sense? That's all I got for you today. Oh, one more thing before I go. Before your next interview, grab a copy of the Complete Interview Answer Guide. I do touch on salary in this book. I walk you through a couple of different negotiations, and I'll also help you if you need help negotiating salary. Anybody who owns a copy of this book, I'm more than happy to work with you and guide you in the salary negotiation process, and I'll kind of give you a couple extra tips, a little bit more than I can do right here in this video. So grab a copy of this book. It's going to help you with salary. It's going to help you in the interview. It's going to help you in the phone interview. It's going to teach you how to answer all of those questions the right way so that they want to offer you the job, so that you get the money that you're looking for. Now, this book comes in hard copy. Comes in audio, video, ebook, and you can just download it from Job Interview Tools. It's like $50. I'll put a link below this video. And like I said, when you own this book, you also get access to me. That's right. So if you have some questions about the interview process or what to do next, you own this book, you can email me. I'll teach you how to do that once you purchase the book. And there's a special email address that you can use. It comes right to me. I answer it. Nobody else, no college kids. And I'll give you my best advice on your situation and what you should do next, and just kind of give you that guidance. And I won't tell you exactly what to do. I mean, I'll give you options. And because you need to make the choice on the next steps in the process, whatever that is. I mean, maybe you're stuck and you're not sure what to do or how to respond or whatever it is. I'll say, well, you got 3 choices here. You can do this, this, or this. So you get that choice, you get that option when you own a copy of the Complete Interview Answer Guide. You can email me. There's nobody else that does this. You can go look on Amazon. You can buy all kinds of job interview books. There's all kinds of job interview sites out there. But I don't know of anybody else on the planet where you can email the author like you can me. You just shoot an email off to me. I get back to you within a day or two, sometimes less, usually less, and I help you out. So that's all I got for you today. Good luck in your next interview. See you in the next video. Bye now.